everyone. Wow, do we have an awesome live stream for you today? I don't just have one good guest. I have two amazing guests. We have Kat and Francesco. So Kat, please go first. Tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll jump onto Francesco and we're going to talk about the agenda for today. I have got green squares for all of you. So Kat, please go first. Tell us a bit about yourself and what are we doing today?
Well, hi everyone. My name is Kat and Kyle is Kat, and we're here today to build our GitHub repository open source project for our hashtag FitDevs that we've been building on Twitter. We're a community where we're kind of gathering all of our developers together to kind of challenge each other, to inspire, or actually, hold on guys, it's Emmy, E for explore, M for maintain, and I for inspire each other to kind of prioritize our health and fitness. So that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Eddie, for having me.
That's awesome. And as we say in Eddie Hub, collaboration first, code second. So everyone knows who Francesco is, but Francesco, please give yourself a shout out. Kat and Francesco's links are in the description below as well. So Francesco, over to you.
Perfect. I'm Francesco, developer advocate at Daily Dev, 38, almost 39, very active on Twitter, YouTube, and I'm just back from the sea, which also are kind of sunburn, but I came back just for your live stream, Eddie. Yes, so let's get started.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's get started. Over 30 people here. Thank you all for being here. We have green squares for all of you. Let us know in the chat where you're from. Like, are you in America? Are you in the UK? Are you in Portugal, India? I think also we got AV all the way over in Japan. Amazing. Love that we got you all around the world. But let me share my screen and let's get started. So we have an Eddie Hub community, but we're not here to talk about it today. We're going to Kat has already started the community, but we're going to help get it a bit more moving on the open source side. And actually, tell her what, you're going to help. So Kat, where do I go? What is the URL for FitDevs?
The URL for FitDevs, are you able to access our chat and comments?
This is not the one. I went to FitDevs. I don't think this is it. Yes, I can. If you share it in the private chat, I should have had this prepared.
I'm realizing that I should have asked if you would need it.
Oh wait, I know how we can find it.
SMH.
Link free. The open source.
Oh yes, you're link free.
We can do FitDevs. And then we have Discord, which you can all join. And then I'm going to share this in the chat, actually. And then you've got open source GitHub projects and the hashtag on Twitter. We've got Kenya. We've got Germany. We've got, where else have we got? Ethiopia. Oh, my God. India. Loving UK. Loving all these. Awesome. Okay, so let's go over to GitHub. So we have no logo. So someone needs to raise an issue to remind Kat to put a picture or a logo or something in place to start with.
Eddie, we have a creatives team working on logos right now. You should hop into that Discord chat because it's popping. We have some really cute memes going on and what we can use.
Well, what you can do is actually you could put it in a GitHub discussion and get people to start voting on them as well. So therefore it doesn't get lost in the chat, because Discord is great, but things do get lost in the chat. So that would be awesome. So this is what we've got at the moment, everyone, is the GitHub org. So we're gonna raise issues, we're gonna do some code, because I understand there is a repo where people can almost hold themselves accountable about what they're going to do on a weekly basis. So we need some markdown for that. We need your help. We need your ideas, everyone. So where shall we start? What do you both think? Francesco, Kat, where shall we start? Shall I just start? Shall I go? Okay. I think...
No, it's just so new to me.
Let's do it. Okay. Nice clean slate. So we want this to kind of look like this eventually, with members, lots of projects, customized GitHub organization when you come to it for the first time, so people see other links, what steps to do. This is when you remember. But for Eddie Hub, when you join publicly, you have steps on how to get started. So we want this all for FitDevs as well. So we've got so much to do. Let's just power through and get going. So loving everyone in the chat. I love how you're all geeking out and chatting.
Do I need to give you any permissions to actually make the markdown files?
You can approve my PRs and merge them. So don't worry. We will.
Okay,
I think we should.
I'm going to learn how to approve PRs today. Let's do this.
We will show you. No problem at all. We're all here to learn and to share. We've got so many amazing people in the audience as well. Apparently, Nat says I have a great radio voice. I love that. Thank you so much, because I don't think I do. So thank you so much. It's the good mic. That's what it is. Okay, so let's get first. They've got a Discord. Oh, Francesco's is better. Francesco, why did you have to make it better?
I had a technical issue, but I hope now you can hear me.
We can hear you good.
Nice.
What were you saying? What did we miss? Did we
Let's
miss
start.
anything? No? Okay, let's do
No,
it.
no.
So, Kat, which repo are we going to put kind of people's, I don't know, weekly agenda? You're going to create a new one and we're going to use support. We can always move it later, but where would you like us to start?
Let's have a separate one because I was thinking for support to be really our founding documents, our
Okay,
rules and what we
perfect.
believe and our user information.
Perfect.
Whereas that is something that's a living document, so that even 5 years later you can come back and look at who did what and whatnot. But then to have a separate one for our like workouts and fitness.
Perfect. So do you want to create that repo? Should we call it something like, I don't know, weekly schedule, or I don't know, weekly accountability, or whatever you think? We can rename it later, but if you
Are
create
you
that,
able
we
to
can get,
create it, or do I have to create it?
you will have to create it.
Okay.
And anyone who's watching, to create this in your organization, or you've got permissions, you will have a new down here at the top of the repo list, and people can create a repo and make sure you choose it to be public, and then a repo name and description. And then all the others we can add later, and everything can be updated. So it's not the end of the world. But let's head back.
I
to
just
FitDevs.
added one. Refresh and see if you can see it.
Let's have a look. Fitness accountability. Okay, let's get in there. It's a brand new repo. So what does everyone think? So I am thinking, if I go into the README and let's hit edit, I'm going to start typing, and I want feedback from all of you to see what you think, and then you can make some improvements. Yes. So I want to hit edit in here. I'm not even cloning it, keeping it really simple, but you'll see that GitHub has already forked this project for me. So what I'm thinking is, what information do we want people to add? We want them to add their weekly accountability information, but also they can get some green squares for it at the same time. So I'm just gonna make a list. We're gonna reformat this later on. So everyone bear with me. So what do you think? So we need person's name, right? I think we should know who it is.
I would like a name, and then actually before they actually start talking about what they want to do as a fitness, I want a reason of why they're here.
Okay.
We want to get to the roots before we get to all the branches and the leaves. You know, I want them to be able to verbalize out loud publicly why they're here. Like, why are they here to account for fitness beyond what they're doing?
If I may, I want to put name first, but you can change this later. We'll do one example. The reason why I want to put name first is because we can put it in alphabetical order. I think it's always quite a convenient one. So why? So I think why is a good one, and we can elaborate on this later on. Someone else can add more value to this. So we've got the why. What else do we need? So maybe their weekly commitments. How can we name that? Weekly.
That's fine.
Weekly. Okay. And what else? What else information do we want? So goal. Okay. So goal. Perfect. And then do we want to? Okay, let's start with that. So what I'm thinking a table. What do you think, Francesco? Should we do this as a table?
I'm a huge fan of tables on GitHub, so let's go.
Let's go. So we've got name, we've got why, and I'm going to delete the list above as well in a moment. I'm just using that as a
goal before weekly.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it wrong, and I'm going to get Kat to fix it. So I'm going to do weekly, and then I'm going to do goal, or Kat can comment and say, "Hey, Eddie, I want to accept this pull request, but you need to fix this." So we're gonna show the workflow. So let's do left align, and then I think we can left align the whole lot as well. We can always again change the formatting later. And we might have more than one goal. I don't know. What does everyone think in the chat? What do you think of these fields? Let's have a look. So names. I want to fill it in first, and again, other people can add to it as well. Actually, I might put a link to my GitHub, so if people want to kind of go see what I'm up to, we can make this kind of dual purpose. So github.com/Eddie Jowd, and then the next one is why. Why am I doing this? To be healthy. It's a terrible answer. What do you all think? What's your reasons?
That's horrible. I don't want to say it's horrible, but
you said it. You said it. Francesco heard it. Everyone heard it. It's horrible.
It's a good place to start. It's a good start. That's what we're here for. We're exploring. We're allowing people to start thinking about it. But then the more they're in our community, then they'll start to kind of visualize it better. But it's a good start.
I like that. It's a good start. Okay. That's what we're all here to do, right? Just have a good start and see where it goes. I can't wait for Francesco to fill this in because I want to see.
I will see Francesco's too.
I've already prepared my reply.
Oh, wow. Already. Okay. And thank you, Nat, for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. And I hear you contribute to WordPress. I'm trying to deploy WordPress via code to my Kubernetes cluster. So if you have any experience with that, I'd love some support with that. Okay, to have a break from my desk weekly. So weekly, I plan to do, don't know how we're going to format this, but for now, we'll keep it simple. So I'll say cycle, I'll just say spin. I'm going to do 3 times, cycle 2 times.
I'm holding you accountable for that.
Yeah, this is the scary part, 2 times.
I'm going to check your Peloton profile.
Yeah. We have to get Francesco onto Peloton profile as well. Okay, so my goal, I'm going to leave that blank. And again, so if we can hit preview, everyone. So have a look, hit preview. This is what it looks like. Okay, yeah, I'm going to delete this up here. But also we could leave that up there and we could actually have some explanation. So we could say, why is the name have this alphabetical? And why? What's the why? So why do you want to do this? That sounds really, I need to explain that better. I might leave that off. I'll let Kat fill that in. Weekly, what is your schedule and goal? Again, I'm gonna leave that blank. So I'm gonna propose this, and I'm gonna say initial. So we'll say it's docs, initial example of data. I'm gonna propose that. And it's going to take me to the pull request page. Everyone can see here on the left is where it's going. So it's going to FitDevs with Kat. The fitness account is going to the main branch, which is the default branch. And it's coming from my repo, which is Eddie Jowd. I forked it, so I've got a copy of it. Same name. And the branch isn't main. Always make all your changes in a branch. This is called patch 1. That's fine with me. And it showed me I've done 1 commit. And these are the changes that I made. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to hit create pull request. And I'm not going to put in a comment. It's really bad. Do put in a comment. I'm going to hit create. And now this is created. And if you go to the beginning of the project, you'll see this doesn't exist here. I do not have permissions to make changes to Kat's repo. I can make suggestions, but I cannot make changes. So I've made this change. And Kat can go to have a look and can look at file changes. See if they're happy. Kat, if you want to share your screen, you're more than welcome to. But while you do that, I'll continue talking. So if Kat wants to make a change to this, she can hit the plus button and say, Eddie, please do X, whatever it is. And we can have a discussion in line about that. So Kat can do that. Kat can also review and ask, approve it. I can't hit approve because it's mine. Lots of things we can do here. Let's see what Kat wants to do. Kat's sharing her screen. So let me bring that up.
Yes.
I'll have a look at the chat. Yeah, we can see your screen. So go ahead.
Just now, guys, I went into our fitness accountability and I was able to see, here. This is where we started. I don't want to skip any steps. Then we went into our pull request. Inside pull request here, then we can see the pull request here that's committed or requested by Eddie. And here we go. No description. But looks good to merge. Already a comment.
Yes. Thank you, Praduma. I'll pay you later, Praduma. Thank you. Francesco, you're fired.
Exactly.
Bye.
I can't wait to see more. So I've never done this before. So let's see. We can add rules. Continue to integrate. I don't know what that means either.
So rules will add later on, so you can protect your branches. So by mistake, you can say if certain things aren't happy, then you can't merge it. The continuous integration is just actually, this is Francesco's area of speciality. Francesco, do you want to give your thoughts on CI, like GitHub Actions?
Yes, if you want, we can use them. I don't know from which one we want to start.
Can you give an example of what would you recommend?
For what?
For a GitHub action. So we won't do it now, but just for Kat and other people who are listening, like what is GitHub action? What is CI?
Yes, basically are like hooks to make things happen when something happens, to make this very super as clean as possible. And there are many, so you don't have to code them from scratch. Usually you can check some, and then you can make something happen when something happens. This is basically the idea. And yes, I don't know in specific which one can be useful, but yes.
To give an example, you could have like a welcome GitHub action. So if someone creates a pull request, it puts a comment in and says, hey, thank you so much for contributing. We'll get to your pull request soon, and things like that. So there's so many things you can do. You can run checks. Did I format it correctly? And there's so many things you can do, but we'll worry about this for later on. People will add them from the community. Everyone watching, green squares, right? Add an issue to maybe some of your favorite GitHub actions to this repo. Let me share the repo in the chat, and then you can add some issues. I will think of some more pull requests for you all to add shortly as well. So don't worry about that for the moment, Kat.
Right. I won't
So
worry about
if you're happy, Francesco seconds it. Thank you so much, Francesco. And if you're happy with it, you can just hit merge pull requests. And there are
Well, I have
different
a
types.
question.
Yes,
Sorry,
of
you
course.
mentioned I could comment on exactly what you did.
Yes.
Would I only be able to do a comment like this, or would I be able to go in and annotate your pull request?
Both. It's a great question. So you can do a comment down here. That's for like the whole pull request. Like, Eddie, this is amazing, or Eddie, this is terrible. But if you want to do specific inline, if you scroll to the top, there is a files change tab, the last one. Yep. And then if you click on the plus, you'll see a plus on the left on any line. You can click on the plus and say, Eddie, this needs more information, or whatever you want to add. Yes, I mean, just do it. Add it. It's for practice. I think it's good. And then,
sorry, I saw it was there were
Which
two
information?
options. It was add review comment, and then there was it disappeared. Maybe not.
yes, so there was add review comment, and there is also start review. So start a review puts it into the pull request. I usually use add single comment. I wonder what people in the audience use. Let us know in the chat. But if you start a review, it marks the pull request as needs changes. So if you go back on conversation, you'll see the pull request will go into a different state now. And scroll down. You might have to refresh. Let's have a look. So you can see Viv's put a comment in already. Nice. Love to see everyone's contributing. See everyone watching. You don't have to be a maintainer. And we have a question from Carl on this. We'll get to into a moment. But you don't have to be a maintainer on the project to be able to review someone else's work and give suggestions. So you can see you've added yours in there. It appears in the conversation. It says pending. So if I refresh mine, I can put a comment in, and I can say we can add this later or something like that. There's lots of things that we can do. I see lots of comments coming in, so thank you V as well. So I'm going to switch back to mine for a moment. Let me just steal the screen share. What I want to show is Kat put a comment in, but what you'll see what V did actually made some suggested changes. So if V wrote Eddie use HTTPS instead of HTTP, then I would have to go in and make that change. But ViV has made that change for me. So it's kind of like a mini pull request on my pull request, which is great because I can just go, I'm happy with that. Just brilliant. I'll accept it. And now that's made that change to my pull request. And now ViV and me will get a badge on GitHub to say we collaborated together. And it's marked as outdated because I've accepted it. And it's great. I can give it a thumbs up, or I can leave a comment in and so forth. I don't always leave a comment because it creates more notifications for people. Yes, but Kat, for the sake of speed and getting other people contributing, I don't know if you want to merge that and we can get someone else to add that improvement later on. I'm going to pass your screen back up. This is Kat's screen is back up.
So all I gotta click is click merge
request? Click merge request. So there's different ways you can do this, but we'll do this now this way to keep it simple. So go ahead. So that's done. So if I steal back the screen share, and I want to head over to Francesco's screen maybe in a moment, there's no open pull requests, but also now mine appears in the README. So now we want other people's to appear as well. But what you'll all notice is if loads of people start making changes to this, we're going to get lots of conflicts. So this is why those of you who don't know, I did mention maybe a suggestion using JSON files, an individual file for each person. Therefore, if someone's making changes and someone else is making changes, they're making changes in different files on different lines. So maybe there's some improvements to come to that. But I think it's always useful when you see, before you make any make any optimizations, let's say, it's good to see a few results. So Francesco, I'd love to see your result in that. And while you're doing that, go ahead.
Yeah, just a question.
Yes.
Gadi, so are we going to just change this readme.md or with the JSON file?
So I would make a change as it is now, make it just another line to the table, and then we're going to see some of the challenges that we get, and then we can see how far we want to take it. Because there's so many different ways we could do this. We could make a JSON file, have a template in the README. Everyone does their JSON file. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this. And then we could have a GitHub action that creates the README. Eddie Hub has a project like this. But then we could also have something like Next.js where we read in the JSON files and display it in a React front end and host. If it's React only, which we do for link free, we can host it on GitHub Pages for free. If we use Next.js, then we'll need some servers and so forth. So there's so many different ways we can do this. I think doing it via JSON gives us the most flexibility because we could use a GitHub action to create this page that I'm on. So each time it is merged, then it adds the person to the list. But they don't add it themselves. So only ever one happening at once. Or we could do, like I said, a front end project or a full stack project. We have more options, but I'm keen to see it as a table first, and then maybe we can make some decisions. Let's have a look. I just want to go back to some of the questions. We had some really good questions. Carl, I think, asked the first question. So is there an inner circle for maintainers already, or will Kat maintain everything? So this is a question for Kat.
Well, so far, Carl. Carl. Okay, so far, Carl. So far, there is not an inner circle yet, and I do not want to maintain everything on my own because I believe you guys, the community, is what makes this community, right? So I am definitely welcoming people who would like to maintain it all together. Our Discords, we're a pretty new community and we're building a lot from the ground up. So please hop on in our Discord and let us know that you are interested in helping us maintaining this. We have little channels for Discord building and our Twitter bot building, Twitter community building. So for people who are interested in building beyond just contributing to our projects, if you're a builder and you want to build with us, all the stuff back, like all that behind the scenes like this right now, please let us know and we will throw you on here and you're going to jump on this train with us and do it with us. I'm welcoming it. There's no inner circle yet, but once you join, it'll be you and me in this little inner circle, and then we can, keep getting people in our inner circle. That's where we're going so far.
Sounds good. Viam says no, Eddie. So I don't know what the no was for. I think it was for the HTTP. They fixed it to HTTPS. Yes, you can rename branches. You can branch off the branch you're on, and it will take whatever the state that branch is in, everything that's committed to a new branch, and then you can delete the old one. And so it's not rename. It's probably more create a new one and ditch the old one. They probably, on the command, there probably is. I never bother with that. So I don't know off the top of my head. Okay. Let's have a look. So Francesco, let us know when your pull request is up.
Yeah, again, the pull request is for changing just the README.
Yes, just to put your name. Yeah,
okay.
Underneath.
Because you were talking about a JSON. Okay, so I didn't got that. Okay.
Sorry, yeah, just the same as what I've got there. Do the same, and then we'll migrate it. I think again to see the benefits. Because I started off with one file on Eddie Hub and very quickly became painful and moved to JSON. So JSON requires a bit more work from the contributor and also the maintainers. So we've got lots of awesome people here. I'd love to know from people, what do you think? Should we go? I think we should definitely go JSON, but should we go GitHub Action to Markdown? Should we go React to JSON to React? What should we do? Let us know everyone's thoughts. People aren't on Discord yet. Do join the Discord. I see issues being created already. They're on my screen. We've got license. Yes, you definitely need a license and a code of conduct. So whoever raised this, the lazy learner, I would highly suggest, I want to go to their profile. I would highly suggest raise that as 2 issues because one of them might get merged, get done sooner. So what I would do personally is rename that issue, just say add license, and I'd create another issue, which is add code of conduct, and you'll get multiple green squares. Add PR and issue template. Again, I would create those as 2 separate issues as well because they could run in parallel by different people and so forth. But love that. Great to see lots of people here. Everyone watching, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Really helps support the channel. And go follow Francesco and Kat. Links are in the description below. Carl always uses review. Okay. Some suggestions. We could use issue forms and format the data into JSON using a custom GitHub action. That's true. That's another way. I didn't think about that. So when we create an issue now, currently we don't have a form. We have a title and a description, but GitHub has this feature where you can create like a form for the user, like what's your name, what's your goal. And the great thing about that is we could go from that to JSON to whatever we want. The downside of that is updating becomes a little more difficult, although we do know who the user is who's creating it. So in this case, it would be me. So that's one way to do it. That's another good idea. Carl contributes to so many of the Eddie Hub projects. Actually, is the sole maintainer, or the
Really?
right word is on the API project, which was super hardcore. Taking events from Eddie Hub, putting it on a live map, and people appearing on the map as they contribute to our projects. We'll do a live stream on that very, very soon. I'm super excited to show that. It won't work for your GitHub org; it only works for ours. But Carl, I wonder if we can expand it to other organizations. We need to have a think about that. I know we didn't build it for that, but maybe other communities can host it themselves as well.
Yeah. I might have to slowly recruit you.
No, don't steal Carl from me. Carl, I'll pay you double whatever Kat's paying you. The description, no description in my PR. That's true. Okay. So how to create a PR template. You can do that with a special folder in, actually, you can check it out in Eddie Hub. We have all these things done already. So the good thing is you can look at one of our projects, like our support project, very similar to what we're doing here. And you can go to the .github folder, and then you've got all the GitHub stuff. So you've got pull request template in here. We've got our workflows, which are our GitHub actions, and we've got our issue templates. So people can do all sorts of things here. And these are usually forms. So if we go on the Eddie Hub project, then go to new, you can pick one. So, add me to the API, GitHub profile review, or whatever you want. And it's a form rather than a big kind of block of area to write things. But we can add those improvements later on. Don't worry, we will get there. We're not going to do everything in one day. So Kat has been added already. Okay, nice. And I see a pull request come in too. So we have Francesco. So let's have a look. As you can see, everyone, I can't merge it. I don't have permissions on this project, but I can still review it. So Francesco has apparently deleted Kat's information, according to this, which is strange. I think it's just a conflict. No, I think you changed the same line that Kat did, and GitHub is a bit confused. So that happens. This is why this is perfect example. This is why I think it's important that we use a JSON file, because this is proven that we're going to have conflicts all the time.
Maybe if we did this on purpose, it would be even better. But we are basically showing what happened, because they made this also in the past, and probably this will happen again. So let's try to solve this in some way.
Let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this README, and I'm going to hit edit again, and let's make some changes. So what we'll do, actually, I won't edit this. I'm gonna take this information from mine. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to hit cancel. Might have to redo this locally, but for now, I'll try and do as much as I can in the browser. And both of you watch the chat. Let me know if I miss anything. Any great tips? People always help me out. Carl says he's there for both of us. Thank you, Carl. You're awesome. Also, the good first issue finder project in Svelte is done by Carl as well, with Tailwind CSS. So many awesome things. So what I'm going to suggest is I'm going to add a file. I'm going to create a new file. Again, it's going to go via pull request. Kat has to approve this. I could literally delete everything in this repo, but nothing will change until Kat approves it or a maintainer approves it. So what I suggest is we have a data folder, and I'm going to do /, and I'm going to say data folder, and I'll probably call it my name, my username, and do it as JSON. And in here, I can create the JSON file. So I'm just going to paste this. This isn't valid JSON. I will delete this in a moment, but just to have the information, I'm going to open the JSON brackets. Having that line in, the editor is trying to be smart and indent me, which I don't really want. It's just because I will forget. I'll do it, try and do it from memory. You can all help me. So here we go. So we'll have, let's see. So we all need a name. What else did we have? I can open a second tab, actually, to remember. Well, in fact, I could do it side by side. Let's do it side by side. I have a big screen, so hopefully this works. Oh, wrong, too far. Here we go. So what have we got? So we've got name. So again, so here with the name, we can do something like Eddie Jald, and then we could do a URL. So people could have a different URL if they want as well. So here I'll do it with HTTPS this time. So it's correct, eddiehub.com /Eddie Jald. Okay, missing the commas at the end. And then the next thing we can do, and it will have a template for this in the README. But Kat, what do you think? Are we on the right track? If everyone has their own file, do you think this makes it, people can get some green squares out of it? I'm trying to combine fitness with the dev side, so they can get some open source green squares every time they update their profile as well.
I love it. The only question I had is, would this information be continuously buildable? Like if we were to build some kind of page later on in another repository, can we still access this JSON file?
Great question. Yes. So if I go back, well, that's not a very good GitHub UI, but let me go to the link-free project and show you. So there's different ways you can access it. So in the link-free project, we have public and then data, because we've got a project and you've got all these different people. So let's just pick anyone at random. The first one, this is their JSON, but you could also get it on the URL and get it. So you could actually query that for another project. And it makes it, you can do a lot with it. And what also we do is we do this with it. And so if I go to my profile, this is what it looks like. So with that JSON, this is what we create, and you can create kind of whatever you want. So JSON is like a cheap database, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we can always change it again later. I think once it's in JSON, we can manipulate it into a database. We can manipulate it into static HTML or Markdown. There's so many things we can do. So I'm going to
start a foundation.
Exactly. I'm going to copy my Y, and then what else do we have? Weekly. And have a look at the chat. Am I missing anything? What do people think? So maybe with the weekly, we could make it a bit smarter. I could separate those out. So instead of having a string, we could maybe have tags or something like that in the UI. So I don't know what everyone's thoughts are. What about weekly being an array, and then having different multiple items in the array? Therefore, what we do with it later on, we could still put it into a comma-separated string. We could separate it out. We could do whatever we want. What do you all think? Let's check out the chat and see what they think. And I have no goal, so it's going to be an empty string. That's what I've got for now. Have a look. Okay, so Eddie, for the PR and issue template, what should we add for reference purpose? You could use the Eddie Hub repo link as an example. Go look at one of the Eddie Hub ones and say, maybe do something like this. Yes, they'll customize it further, but it gives them an example potentially. So to start a branch, if you're doing it in the UI, then GitHub will do it for you as you click the edit button on someone else's repo. If you're doing the command line, you can do GitHub checkout -b and then the name of the branch. So Carl says, let's try to set this up real quick once you commit the JSON. I love that. Carl is a machine. So I'm going to commit this JSON, and Carl's going to have a whole working app.
Wait, don't commit it yet. Minutes. Could you add location, please?
Oh, great idea. Love that. Okay, perfect. Location is super important. Love that, location. So currently, but one thing I'd like to add, and Carl is the expert in this, because this is done, because we've got this username here, and if we make sure the person uses their GitHub username, we can actually get their GitHub profile and get their profile picture and get their location and get all sorts of stuff. So just something to bear in mind if you want to still add location or not. Oh, did not mean to lock my computer. Sorry, my screen share. I locked my computer. Stupid Mac touch bar. Just touch it by mistake and it locks the computer. Here we go. So just some thoughts on that. So I guess my question to you is, we can add location, but we could also get it from their user account. What would you prefer to do? What Carl think and everyone else think? I think it's simpler to have it here as a string. It's less coding, but it's less dynamic as well.
I think that we can leave a little bit of string, especially for you, Eddie, that are always traveling the world. So that will change every 2 weeks. I don't know if you do this on purpose to get green squares, but
the way to do this is also, if we go to GitHub API, just to show that you can get the data. So if we go to GitHub API, and as we're seeing JSON, we can actually get JSON from GitHub itself. So the way I'll show you to do that, you go to users and we go to user. I'm pretty sure it's here. So here we go. So in the browser, we can actually go get a particular user. So that's get authenticated user. Nope. Carl, I'm hoping for you to jump in and help me. List users. No, we want one particular user. I've forgotten the URL. Here we go. So this is what we can do. So if you run a curl command, or you might be able to do it in the browser. It might just work. It won't look pretty in Safari, but let's have a look. There you go. So there's my JSON information. It's not pretty in Safari, but you can see my user. And we should also be able to see their bio. So we can even get people's bios from GitHub. You can get their location. So that's I've got a few locations, which is kind of a bit silly, which breaks the map every time. So not so good. But yes, so we can get this sort of information, how many followers they've got and all sorts. There's lots that we can do. So what's to Kat? I'm gonna, as it's your project, what do you think?
I would like to do it for you to put it in yourself. I think
As in,
that would be
here
better.
is a string.
Yes,
Okay.
because my idea with doing locations is one day probably have a dynamic map where we can see how, like, what our community is made up of and be able to visualize it. But then, for example, if you had pulled it from your location, you had these, what are those called, the bars or the poles that are separating it. I don't know how that would be read in the future.
Oh, so this thing.
Yes,
the
so
JSON.
your locations, how there's London, Portugal, Bali.
Yes.
Did you insert those? What are those separators called?
So these are pipes, but I did this manually in my profile, which is probably
Yeah.
not a good idea because it breaks the live map that Carl made. So I inserted, where is it? Here you go. So I should really change that to be my current location. So therefore it doesn't break the map or anything else that we do. And yeah, Carl's done an awesome map as well, which might better be ported over to your project too. So
you're talking about?
Sorry, say that again.
Can I see this map you're referring to?
Oh, Carl, are you ready? I think we should get Carl on the live stream and have them demo it. It'd be much better than me. So we haven't deployed it actually. It's running locally at the moment. So, but I might be able to show you a screenshot. I think we might have a screenshot in the README. Let me just check. If we haven't, if someone wants to add one, that would be awesome. We have done it in Carl. Where is it? Save me as you always do. It's called Live. Where is it? EddieHub Live. So what the whole point is when we're doing a live stream, the whole point is when people contribute to our open source projects, it will show what they've done, if they've raised an issue or if they've raised a pull request or a comment. It shows their location and it puts me in the center of that latitude, longitude, because my location isn't a real location. London, Portugal, Bali, Thailand is a real location. But when other people do it, they appear, like Carl appears in Germany, you would appear in wherever you are in the US and so forth. And we grab this from the person's GitHub profile, so it's not hard coded. But we can have it hard coded here. It's not a problem. We can have both. Oh, it is deployed.
It's deployed.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Carl, jump in. Do you want a demo of this cat?
Sure.
Okay, Carl, come and give us a demo.
So I meet him. Never
yes.
met him.
And then they do say that there is a rate limit with GitHub's API. So Emma says, okay, so we do hit a rate limit. Okay, so maybe we do it as a string. But Carl, let me bring you on. And while you're doing that, I can just finish off my profile as well. So let's do that. So invite Carl. Carl, I'm going to send it to you somewhere. On Discord. Here we go. Okay, so let me finish this off. So I'm going to leave it here as a string, again, not to overload so maybe we should have a profile picture. Or we should add that later on?
I
What
would
do you
love
think?
to have a profile picture.
So let's just have an image. And for me, I'll need to find an image somewhere to add it. But for now, just to make up a shortcut, this will overload the API. But later on, we have hundreds of people. But for now, I'll do that. GitHub will give you my profile picture by doing that. Okay, so I'm going to commit this. Anything else you think we need, Kat? We can always add to it later.
We can add to it later. I think this is a great start.
Okay. So let's have a look. So I'm going to say, I don't know, feature Eddie's profile. And I'm going to propose this again and GitHub should add it to a new branch. So you can see it's come from patch 2. GitHub's already kind of incremented that. I'm happy with those changes. But what you'll notice, there's something slightly wrong with this. So I'm going to create the pull request, and I wonder if anyone has noticed what is wrong. What does everyone think? What is wrong with my pull request, everyone? Everyone says it's deployed. How do I not know it's deployed? Because I'm the one who usually does the deployments to begin with. So I have the worst memory ever. Last idea, Viam. A project that tracks me and I can share my location. That'd be good. I like it. Okay. So what is wrong? If no one's guessed, what is wrong? If you look at this PR, yes, I've only changed this JSON file, and that looks all good. But if I look at the file in the branch, and we go to the root of it, you'll see that I've got Eddie there still. But now I'm duplicated. So I've got a JSON file and I've got me in the README. So what I really should do is delete me out of the README as well. So I can do that by going to my branch. So let me go back to here.
I'm sorry, Eddie, you're moving very quickly. Why?
Sorry.
Why do you need to delete it off of the README markdown?
because now I'm proposing in my pull request to
change it.
add a JSON file of me, but then I don't want to have the duplicate information in the README as well, because when I want to update it, I have to update it in 2 places, and we don't want to encourage people, to add it to the README. We want to encourage them to add their own JSON file, and we'll add some documentation to here instead. Does that make sense?
Yes. So what you're saying is right now you are going to be submitting 2 separate pull requests, one to remove it from the README and a separate one to add your JSON file. Am I understanding correctly?
That can be done, but what I recommend, because they're related, I think one pull request would make sense. So I've got this commit, which has my profile being added into the JSON. But I think another thing I could do is head back to my branch. Now you can see it's changed to Eddie, and it's just your repo forked from your organization. But I want to now edit the README to take my name out. So therefore, in the pull request, it will have 2 changes. So if I delete me out, I'm not going to delete you out because I'm not adding your JSON file. So I'm going to say fix removed duplication. And then here I can create a new branch to create a new pull request, which I don't recommend in this case. I'm going to add it to the existing branch. And so if I add it to the existing branch, now if I go back to your repo where my pull request is, there'll be still the same pull request. I haven't created a second one. There's still only one by me. But now there'll be 2 commits in there. You can see this one was where I added my profile in JSON. And if I click on the hash, it will show you that I added the JSON. And if I come down here and click on the hash, in the second commit, in the same pull request, it will show that I've removed my name from the README. And I can see both combined by going to file changed. That will combine all the commits in this pull request into one view. And you'll see I removed my name out of the README, but at the same time in this pull request, I've added my name to my details to the JSON file. Does that make sense, everyone? Or no? If not, tell me. Okay, so therefore that pull request is ready for you, Kat, to review and to comment, reject, approve. And we've got Carl here. Oh, Carl has joined. Sorry, Carl, I missed you on my other screen. Let's bring Carl up as well. Carl, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Yeah, all good. So Carl, meet Francesco, and meet Kat. You probably know already as well.
I don't know you, Carl. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I just saw your tweets frequently on Twitter, but yeah, I think we never spoke to each other yet.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, I've come across the Twitch stream recently from Kat.
Oh yes, you were really active.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Hi.
Loving the community geek out. So Carl, before I hand over to you to give a quick demo of that, I've got some green squares for people. I see people raising issues and pull requests, which I absolutely love. But what I want to say is on this repo, I want to make this a little bit smaller so it fits on one page. What we've got is we've got a wiki up here. I don't recommend we use the wiki. I can't say it, wiki. Not because we don't need documentation. We do need documentation. Documentation is so important, but I recommend we put it in a docs folder or in the README to start with. When it grows too big, we move it to a docs folder. So what I recommend is someone raise an issue to ask Kat to hide the wiki in the settings. We should hide everything that we're not using, and we can bring it back later if we need. A second issue for people to raise, get a green square on GitHub, hide packages. We will use that probably in the future, but not for now. And same with releases. Let's hide it until we start using it. So if you can raise 3 issues, do share it. I don't want one person to claim all of them. Let's share the green squares, and we can help Kat. If she's happy with those, we can help Kat go through those shortly. But raise those issues so we don't forget. Okay, Carl. Kat, are you happy so far? Shall we hand over to Carl?
So far, yes. And I've also merged your request. So after Carl speaks, I would love to go through how to hide those different things. Go ahead.
Perfect. And big shout out to Carl. Like I said, helps so many of our projects. And as Praduma mentioned, works at Gitpod. For those of you who don't know Gitpod allows you to edit what I did in the browser, but in a whole VS Code dev environment. So Carl will probably Gitpodify your project so people can do a full local-like environment in the browser, set up all perfectly, whatever technology we're using. And Carl will do that so quickly because he's just a machine at these sorts of things. But anyway, enough from me. Carl, do you want to share your screen? And I'll bring that up.
The live map project.
Yes. Yeah, I
Sure.
can't remember
1
anything, so it's
second.
probably safer and conscious of time, safer if you share your screen on that. It's okay. And then Francesco and Kat and everyone else, while Carl's doing that, what do you think we should do with the projects? We've got JSON files. I don't know if in the meantime, Francesco, you want to move yours over to a JSON file as
Done.
well.
Done.
Done already. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up and have a look. Love that. I'm going to approve that. Looks good to me. But I can't
Check
merge it. But
Without checking. Yeah.
I love it. I've checked it. It's correct, of course. So, I see. Oh, there's a mistake. Love AV, eagle eyes. Love that. Ignore me. Mr. Comma. Good spot. Like that.
Good spot.
Very nice.
You added a comma.
And that's why we need a GitHub Actions Cat. So actually, this is a really great example. So thank you so much, Francesco, for doing this situation on purpose. So if, for example, I had approved it and you went, oh, Eddie's approved it. I missed this. Let's merge it. It would have broken building the whatever we're building, like if we're building HTML or if we're building, Markdown, whatever, it would have broken. And so therefore our default branch would have been broken. And the problem with that is it could have broken the website if a website's built. But worse than that, anyone else who forks the project afterwards to make changes will have a broken version. They'll be like, I'm running this locally. I haven't changed anything. Why is it breaking? So a GitHub action here is really good to run on every pull request to check that the JSON is valid JSON. It doesn't have to build the website or anything like that. Just check, is the JSON valid? And if it's valid, then they might spell their name wrong. For example, say Francesco put a typo in their name. That doesn't matter. It would have at least built correctly. It wouldn't block anybody else. So that's why it's important. But we'll add those later on as well. Okay. Carl, I don't see your screen share yet, by the way. If you need me to buy you more time, I can. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, it's off the page. No, I do. Sorry. I forgot StreamYard scrolls down. Okay. So, Carl, over to you.
So I really have to give a short disclaimer. It really looks ugly. It's just like a technical proof of concept for now that it's working. What you can see now is actually the world map, and the left side is blank for now. But if I go ahead and just leave a comment, I just pick a very old pull request from myself and add a test comment here. It should actually be display me on the map where I'm currently located. It's like the location, as Eddie said before, pulled from the GitHub API. And we're also seeing Eddie here at longitude 0, latitude 0, because as we also said before, his location can't be resolved properly into coordinates. And on the left side, we're seeing the WebSockets delivering the events that actually get triggered. So we're seeing that there was Eddie made an issue, commented on an issue in the Eddie Hub Live project, or I commented on a pull request inside the Good First Issue Finder. And it's essentially the integration from the GitHub API, firing webhooks on events that are getting triggered through GitHub issue comments, pull request, open pull requests, etc. These are sent to our API, and our API emits these events as via a WebSocket to this page. I also opened our API that we recently rewrote entirely, and just nice showcase feature, I guess, is this stat tracking thing we implemented. So we can see, since we rewrote or revamped our API project, we see we had 1,860 issue comments in our GitHub organization. We had, pull requests. Where is it? 2,027 pull requests. We triggered 15,000 workflows. We added 225 labels, and all these events actually you're seeing here can be reflected to this project in case you opted in for this. We decided to not just go ahead and send your data to this website. You need to
opt in,
create an issue in our support repo, so you're actually tracked within our API. So you actually need to opt in to be displayed, and also to track your stats and all this stuff. Yeah.
So this is something that you can do. Carl, thank you so much for that demo. I think it looks awesome. If anyone wants to get into Tailwind CSS, that's what we're using for this project. It's done with React as well. You can go in and improve the styling. It's very early days. So that's something that people can contribute to. And Kat, maybe something you want to use for your community or something similar. You could do graphs and dashboards and other stats and so forth. But that's for later on. But I think it's interesting to show what sort of things can be done with the GitHub data. And I see Francesco's added their JSON. It's been merged now, which is awesome, and it's looking good. Got all the commas in the right places. So perfect. What should we do next? I know Carl had an idea of maybe building the website. Did you want to do that in the background, Carl? You let us know when you want to bring up a demo or something. We'll keep you on the live, and we can show as you go along. It doesn't have to be pretty or perfect, but it'd be great for people to see. Question from Kat. No, I'm asking this. I'm joking. What tools are you going to use? Do you think you're going to go Svelte, React?
Like for my personal preference, I would probably go with SvelteKit, but I guess it's like not that popular in the ecosystem, so I would probably go ahead with Next, because I feel like the adoption rate of React is much bigger than the Svelte community.
It's true. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Kat, what shall we do next?
Could you actually, since we talked about the issues really quick, can you actually show me how I can hide the various things that we're not using?
Perfect. Let's do it. So I want to switch over to your screen. These are the issues, but we'll switch over to your screen and we can go through that. So, there we go. So if you go to the issues, and everyone watching, by the way, you saw how we added the JSON files. If you could add to the README instructions on how to add the JSON files, that would be great. Let us know in the chat if you want that green square. If not, I'm happy to do it, or Francesco's happy to do it. But let us know if you want to do it. Just remember, there's no perfect documentation, just something to get started, and someone else can improve it later on. Okay. So yes, let's go through these. So which one do you want to pick first? Remove the wiki. Perfect. So let's go to settings. And if you scroll down, I think you'll see, there we go. Just under features, untick wiki, and that will now be gone. So perfect. So you can always enable that in the future if you want it. And I think we'll leave the rest probably for now. And if you can you can put a comment in that issue and say, thank you, I've addressed that, and then close it, and then we can move on to the next issue.
Is it just automatically saved?
Yeah, it automatically saves. Sorry that this doesn't happen everywhere on GitHub. It's a bit inconsistent. I think it's different teams. But that one automatically saved. So what I would recommend is leaving a comment and hitting close. Perfect.
Close with comment instead of just, okay, I see.
Perfect. And then if you go back to issues, you now have one less.
To deal with.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So, and we can do labels, and we'll go into labels later on. And we've got GitHub Actions that can create labels for you and stuff, but we'll do that later on. So next up, we have, what else have we got? Did someone raise one for a code of conduct? Let's do that one. It's one of my favorites, really important. So we need a code of conduct. So what I recommend is going to the Insights tab along the top. Do you mind zooming in a bit on your browser? I think people on mobile phones, yeah, perfect. So if you go to the Insights tab, and then on the left-hand side, go to Community Standards. And then you can see what is missing, what's recommended for you to do. So no description, no code of conduct, no license. So we can go through these and check them. So the great thing is about this, I don't know if Francesco knows this, aware of this page, probably is. He's nodding away, great. But on the right-hand side, GitHub gives you like a way to add it really easily as a maintainer. So you click on the code of conduct, I would click on add, and then it should give you two choices. So you can choose the two. I always pick the first one. And then if you put in your email or a link or how someone can contact you, it could be your GitHub profile or something. But basically, it's just it's an open source standard for the code of conduct, and you can change it later on. But it's a way for people to contact you if something's going wrong. So you could do Twitter, you could do various things. If you're happy with that, you can review and submit it. It's your project.
So sorry. Okay. So it is
not.
It's not like a document that only GitHub manages. It's just a template that we can also then add on and let my community have suggestions, and also do pull requests if they want to add some kind of important like rule.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. So yeah, so you can see it's taken you straight into the editor. It's even created the name of the file. So it's kind of giving you a starting point. For now, I think it's a great starting point. So if you scroll to the bottom, you'll be able to put in the commit's kind of got a template for you, create code of conduct. I think that's fine. And you can do it to a branch or you can do it to main. I reckon just do it straight to main. You're the owner and you haven't made any changes to this.
Okay.
If you were making some changes to a JSON file, I would say go to a branch, raise a pull request. But as you haven't written this is like a proven template. I think it's fine. Now it's gone in, so you can now go close that issue as well.
I have a question, because now this code of conduct is existing within the fitness accountability repository. Mm-hmm. Would I be able to do a code of conduct that exists for the organization?
Unfortunately, no. You have to do it per repo. You could put it in the customization repo for the organization, but I still think every repo should have its own one. Is my thinking, because someone might see a repo independently of the organization and might have an issue. I think GitHub will change this later. They're making so many improvements now to do this. You can create a repository template where every time you create a new repository, it starts off with the files that you want. So like the code of conduct and so on. But again, we can go into that later on. And if someone wants to raise an issue, and it's something we can do, so we don't forget as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So people loving the live map project, and also loving the FitDevs project as well. So yes, you can add it to the .github repo. But Vive, if you add it to the .github repo, you still need to add it to all the others, right, as well? Is that correct? So add Discord link to the README. I agree. Should we let Kat do that, or should we let someone else from the community add that? We've actually got a link-free link as well, which has got the Twitter hashtag link and all sorts. So you could probably add both to the README. We'll leave that for the community, I think, Kat, because someone else can do that one. Let's have a... Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. I have a quick question, Eddie.
Yes, of course.
So I know on Discord it said that our invite link is only good for 7 days. How do you continuously invite people into your community?
Is that for Discord or for GitHub?
For Discord.
For Discord, I create a link that's open indefinitely as one of the admins on the organization, and then I created on the domain. I created this was Naomi's idea. I create Francesco. What's it called when you create a subdomain and then you do like a redirect? So I've got discord.eddyhub.org and it will redirect to that invite link.
Wow.
So if I ever change the invite link, I don't have to go change it in all the repos of every place it's being shared or whatever. I would just change it in my DNS control panel. If it did change, it doesn't. And then I've got it in one place to change it.
It's a good idea.
Yes, exactly. So you can create one that's indefinitely, and I will share that link.
Sounds good. I have a question. When it says people here, so for example, I see that everyone that's submitted pull requests, but they don't show up in the people here, or where do they show up? Great question. Francesco, do you want to take this? I'm talking loads.
On a single repository, click on one of them, like the contributors. And scroll down, you see like contributors, bottom right is this. So those are the contributors. And then I think at the top you see you can also the starts and the forks.
And then
starts and forks, you can see the people who fork, the people who start. Of course, start this repo, please. And yes.
Oh yes, 10 forks already. Okay, awesome.
I also forgot and I fixed this bug.
Okay, good. I think also Kat was talking about the organization members. So if I go to Linktree, for example, repo, as Francesco mentioned, we've got 545 contributors. But if I go to the organization, we have 2.5 thousand members. So it's different. So yeah, these members haven't all contributed to Linktree, but they might have contributed to one of our other repos. So what you see on the right here is organization members. And then this is kind of what Carl was talking about having certain members will be in teams. So they might be have access to certain repos with write permissions and and so forth. So for example, we each repo, I create a team, and then I add certain people that, you know, trust to that repo to be able to merge pull requests. Because to be honest, it's not me doing most of the, or it's definitely not me doing the reviewing and merging. As much as I'd love to, I get about 2,000 GitHub notifications a day, so I can't keep up with those. So it's the awesome maintainers, and you can see all the awesome maintainers here. You can see Emma, Naomi, Lucy, Paduma, Carl, Viv, and so forth. So so they're all members of the organization, but some of them belong to teams that give them different read and write permissions on different repos, if that makes sense, Kat.
It does. It's really coming together. I understand a lot better how your maintainers are helping you build the community.
They're more than helping me. When I win the lottery, they're getting paid first before me. Like, they're amazing. Definitely. So yeah, there's a lot to go through. So there's a lot to take in. We'll do a part 2. I know the Eddie Hub, you know, ask any open source questions in the Eddie Hub community. The members there are amazing. So what should we do next, Kat? What are you thinking? Should I bring your screen back up?
I'm curious. I'd like to know how we can utilize the JSON user files.
Perfect. Okay, Carl, I was trying to buy you some time, but you've probably rewritten the world since then. So do you want to show what you've got so far, Carl, or shall I buy you some more time?
I have nothing to display. I was just setting up the project, the Next.js project. I added Tailwind to it.
Perfect.
I actually didn't follow along the stream anymore, but I recognized that in the JSON file you committed, it's broken.
Well, I broke one. Did I really? Okay. Who reviewed that pull request? Let me see.
Like, at least in the version I'm currently working at, I'm not sure if you updated afterwards.
Probably not. What's broken with mine?
In line 4, you're missing a comma.
Oh yes, I am. I did what Francesco did.
This is why I made the mistake, because I copy pasted this JSON. So I blame Eddie. It's all Eddie's fault. But people corrected me, so now Eddie has the problem and I have not. Eddie.
No problem. I will fix this really quick. Or if someone else wants to fix it, they're more than welcome. Who wants a green square?
I'll do it. So let's see if you're faster than me.
No, you do it, Francesco. All yours. All yours. Everyone, while you're watching, Carl, thank you for spotting again. So Carl, right in the app, realizes he can't load this JSON because it breaks. It's invalid. Again, we'll need a GitHub action for that. So if someone can do that, you'll see one in the Eddie Hub link free. There is a GitHub action that will check for that. You could add that by copying and pasting that YAML file.
Can you show us that? You're
Yes.
working this action. I'd love to see this.
Okay, so GitHub actions, what do they look like? So I'm going to go to the link free project. I'm going to go to the .github folder. I'm going to go to workflows. And then we've got these workflows. So we've got create our releases. What a release is, so in Git, you have a tag, and a tag is similar to a release. It's kind of like GitHub have called it release and added more flavors to it, let's say. But effectively underneath, it's a Git tag. But what that means is, on Git, you have branches, which can be a copy of the code base. But then you have forks, which is a copy of the entire Git repo. So it includes the branches. So forks and branches are kind of similar, but a branch is a smaller thing. Each branch has a save point, which is called a commit. I'm probably explaining this really badly. If Emma's here, I see her laughing. I hope Emma's not laughing at my explanation, because Emma's got an amazing YouTube channel that explains these things much better than me. I get too excited. So when you're trying to save something in any branch or any fork, you save it as a commit. And a branch can have a collection of commits. But a branch can be updated and changed. Whereas with a tag or a release, it's still a collection of commits, but you can't change it. Once you create that tag or release, you can't change anything. So if we created the release 0.0.1, no one can add anything to that. They can create another release 0.0.2, but they can't change 0.0.1. Let's just call it 1 and 2 for now, because otherwise it's too many numbers. But if I create version 1 and give it to Francesco, he cannot make any changes to it. He can make a version 2, but he can't change it. And each release can contain multiple commits. So that's one thing to think of. That's what the release does. We've got the deploy to deploy it to our Kubernetes cluster. We've got our community, which welcomes people. So again, if anyone wants to put this on Kat's repo, you can, with her permission. So what it will do, it will send a welcome message and a comment, and you can literally just copy and paste this. You just want to change the text. You don't want to say welcome to Eddie Hub and all the rest. You want to say welcome to FitDevs and so forth. But all this will stay the same. most probably. So the other one we have, I think it's prettier. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm so rusty with this. So what do we have? Yes. So here you go. So you can see, I think you can literally copy and paste this file and change it. It won't be public, or although Carl might change this, but at the moment we have it in data, and then you've got a star there, which is the wildcard. So start wild. So basically any JSON file in the data directory. You should only have JSON files in there. But again, to be a bit stricter, we'll say anything with the JSON extension. Prettier, work its magic. And you can say style is, and it will commit it back with the commit style format files. So it will format it. I don't know if it'll fix it, but at least it will break, right? If it can't format it, it will break. And then in the pull request, oh, here you go. Let me go to one of Eddie Hub's pull requests. I think we've got some more. You can see, okay, that needs approval to run. So let me pick a different one. So you can see if I list these things, we've got 5 GitHub actions that run. But if the formatter failed, this would be red, and this would be red and say can't merge, because this would not be green. This would be red and say can't merge because something's broken. And then therefore, even before one of the maintainers comes and tries to figure it out, the author of the pull request will be notified to say, you do realize you've broken it, and they can try and go and fix it even before. It's trying to make it more efficient. So it's not trying to reduce collaboration, but let's collaborate on the important things rather than the silly mistakes that we all make. Like, it's natural. I made it, as you just saw. So by automating it, we can remove all the silly conversations and have the more fun, interesting conversations. So if anyone wants to add that, shall I drop, you know what, someone, can you raise an issue? And I will drop a link to that GitHub action so you can literally copy and paste it as well. Here we go. And someone can raise an issue and someone can raise a pull request. Let me drop that in the chat. Oh yes, and there's a linter as well. So you could use a linter on that too as well. So hopefully someone raises that as an issue, and then someone raises it as a pull request as well. Oh, 5 pull requests went from 2 to 5. So Kat, I don't know if you want to merge in Francesco's pull request that fixes Akshu. Nice, straight in there, looks good to me. And if we look at files change, it should just be adding a comma to the end. Perfect.
It's been hard work, Eddie, but
Inserting that one comma.
No, but I love this, right? It is one character. This is not one line change. This is one character change, but it's fixed it. It's gone from broken to working. Because with this missing character, my whole file is useless. And actually, I could have broken the whole project. And I think it really highlights that it's not about the size of the changes. It's about the value that it adds. And this value is massive. And so everyone, don't get hung up on the size of the changes. It's the value of the changes. So this is really, really important. So thank you so much. Okay, so that got merged already. And so Carl, you'll have to pull that down to get the latest changes, but we'll see it's now been merged in. If I go to the Eddie file, you'll see the changes are from Eddie and Francesco and so on. So that's awesome. Okay, Kat, what next? Carl, by the way, jump and shout when you're ready to show us anything. No matter how small, no matter how ugly, just whenever you're ready, just let us know.
Yeah, like loading data is working now. Reading the static files. Also generating the static files is working. I just like throw some Tailwind classes on, then we can have a look into it.
Awesome. So I told you, Carl's a machine on these things, super fast. Thank you so much, Jay. Love it that you're all getting. It's all helpful to you. It's all helpful to me. I'm learning loads as well. So thank you so much. So I think actually I've got a suggestion. Kat, if you don't mind, and if you've got something you want to do next, I've got a suggestion.
No, I'd love to hear. I have so much to do, and I think it's really interesting learning this with you, because I'm kind of being able to prioritize in my head, what's the order to do it in the most efficient way instead of just throwing everything in there. So I would love to hear what your suggestion is.
Okay, so I'm glad someone raised the issue, by the way. Switch goal column to weekly column. I love all this. This is great. Really, really good improvements. We mentioned this in the live stream. So I love it that you're documenting it, adding value. That's what it's all about. I was going to say, let's get Kat to move from a table to a JSON file and maybe document the changes in the README. If no one else has done that already, let's have a look. Add description to Y. Love that. Change the columns. Perfect. Update the README. Oh, maybe something's come in. Jocelyn, did I pronounce that right? Okay, made some improvements on that on Kat's profile. Okay, so Kat, before you, what do you call it? No, we'll do the documentation first. Ignore me for the moment. Sorry.
In
And
terms
then-
of documentation, before I actually do it, why don't we actually make a template for people so they can follow it? And let's kind of explore how we would format our JSON file, because I'm guessing with this user file, does that mean, Eddie, that in the future we are recommending individuals to continue using that exact data file to update their weekly workouts?
Yes, exactly. And each time they make a change and it gets merged in, the website will get updated. And they'll get a green square for it as well on GitHub. And by green square, anyone who doesn't know what that means, it means down here you get some nice green squares on your tiles. So, if you want to review people's pull requests, you get some nice graph up down here as well, and that's really, really important. Yes. So, if you want, would it be easier if I added some documentation to this, or would you prefer to do it?
Why don't you go for it? Because I've never actually worked with just Markdown besides
Okay.
HTML.
That's fine. No
do
problem. So I'm going to leave yours alone here. I'm not going to touch this part. I'm going to add below it, and then you can remove this later on once you move it to JSON. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit edit, and we'll go below, and let's do some Markdown. So everyone, what are the steps that we need to take to add to your profile? So step number 1. So let's just say quick start guide. So we can put a title. I'm going to put, you've got a H1 up here, 1 hash. So we're going to make a H2. So we're going to say quick start guide. And so step 1, what's the step 1 that you need to do? Create a JSON file.
Create a JSON file with the name of your GitHub username.
Create JSON file.
Example,
with
GitHub.
your GitHub username. Perfect. And we'll give an example. We use Kat's example rather than mine because it's not mine.
Because we are on the okay.
Yeah.
It's
so
FitDevs.
here we go. So I was going to do it like that, and then it'll be. Oops, what happened?
Add the .json, otherwise people will
Thank you.
forget.
Yes, thank you. Good point. And then to create that file, and then what next? The contents of the file.
I will say, like fill this JSON file with this example, with this template, and we provide the JSON template.
I was going to put it here in code blocks.
Exactly. So
Okay,
we provide that template with the empty value. Otherwise, people will
Perfect.
copy paste that.
Yes.
And yes, that's it.
Okay. So let me go. I'm going to copy and paste mine and remove the values like you said. So if I just copy that, delete.
I would have preferred mine, but it's okay.
No, I'm going to delete
Enjoy.
I'm going to delete it maybe, or I can put, I don't know, Cat as an example.
Exactly. Yes. Maybe
that, and then here we could put in the actual reasons. We should put an example. I think people like examples.
To be honest, Eddie, I will put an empty template. Otherwise,
You think
people
so?
can just make a PR with this value.
True. That's true. Okay,
Let's make it empty. People will understand. I mean, otherwise we can improve it. Like if you want, you can in the point 2, you can explain like what is a weekly, what is the location, how you should format it. But for now, I would leave it like that.
Okay. Add the content.
And we can decide. Yeah.
We can get people to test this, like you said, and we can get feedback and improve this.
Using this template. The template below.
Using this template below. Okay, perfect. And then what else do we need to do after that?
Open the PR. No, commit the file.
Changes. Yep, you're right.
Commit the changes and
open the
request.
You see how that looks? Let's have a preview. This is how it will look.
Yeah, for example, now it would be great if someone in the live stream would like
test
to,
it.
especially if you just joined, so you don't know what we are talking about, to follow this quick start guide and give us a feedback. For example, if you're missing something, so try to follow that and give us a feedback in the live stream, please. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. And I've just noticed from Ayush, thank you so much. We didn't say where to create. I love it when you get community contributions. We didn't say where to create the file. So really good point.
Perfect. Great point. This is a good point.
File in the data, and this might have to change after Carl's building the app, but for now it's what it is. In the data directory with your username that. So we could say file path is data I'll copy this. Hopefully this makes sense. If not, we can improve it further. But yes, I missed that before. Something like that. So let me hit preview again. This hasn't been committed yet. So create JSON file in the data directory with your GitHub username, that, and it will file path will be that. What do we think? Let me check the chat and see. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing.
That's great.
This is why it's so important. Can we assign a moderator? We can assign a moderator. That will be part of the issue template as well, or GitHub action. There's various ways that you can do this. Vishal, awesome to have you all here. Everyone, don't forget, give this video a thumbs up and follow the amazing people we have here. Let me also, in a second, when Carl is demoing the app, I will get Carl's Twitter and GitHub so you can drop him a follow as well. What else have we got in the chat? If you're unable to join Discord, usually means you to verify who you are with a phone number. Unfortunately, that's needed to reduce spam. What else have we got? Yeah, I think this is a good example. Add an example of what goes in the weekly goals, because people might get scared of those brackets. So I think that's a good point. So people don't get scared of it. Let's go back to Kat's one, and maybe we could put in an example. So here we go. Oh no, Kat doesn't have it in JSON yet. So let's just take mine.
I'll do that right now.
Perfect. And we'll switch over to your screen in a moment. So let's just take this. So we should be able to put in an example, maybe down here, and just say weekly example would be that. Does that look? So people know what goes in weekly. So, oh, Francesco's, yours is wrong again. No, we didn't notice. You're missing the each field is missing the closing bracket. We're doing terrible, everyone. Sleep.
Where?
I will fix it here, not on your JSON, but I'll fix it in the README. So you need that because they're separate items in the array.
Oh my god.
Well, we're all asleep. It's Friday, right? Oh no, it's not. It's Sunday. We're getting ready for work.
Friday.
Poor Carl. For a
second, I believed you had it. I was almost cheering. I'm sorry. This was done obviously on purpose. Obviously.
Yes. Okay, and I've noticed some other great comments as well. Add a hyperlink to Kat's profile. It's not there yet, so someone else can do that, but you're right. If we put a link around this, if people want to know actually what the JSON looks like, fully completed, we can put a link on that to go to Kat's JSON file, and then people can actually have a look. So I love that. Great idea. Someone can raise an issue, and someone can add that later on once Kat's JSON file is done. A screenshot of the JSON, I'm not sure about that. I don't know, because it's harder to update screenshots for something that we've already got a coding example. So I'm on the fence about that. Maybe raise an issue and see what Kat thinks and have a discussion there. But it's a good idea to raise, because then we can discuss it, because that's just my opinion. So Kat, should we head over to your screen? Oh, I need to commit this.
Frantically typing away, but sure.
Okay, let me. We want to see you frantically typing. So let me go docs. Quick start guide. Let me commit this, and there'll be a pull request for you when you get a moment. Here we go. I'm happy with that. There we go. Okay, pull request raised. Got more green squares. Let's head over to Kat's screen and see what Kat is up to. Looking good, Kat.
How's Kat working? Okay. Sorry, I was looking at all the pull requests and issues you guys are raising. I love it. Okay.
Multitasking is real. You've got 9 stars already and 13 forks. This project's going well. I think it's probably your most popular project. Let's just check.
I hope so. This is so exciting.
It is. It is. Your Discord bot has got no. Oh no, it is the most popular project. Awesome.
Everything else, we're just starting it, because I created the space for those of the community members that want to get started. We just started that so they can do it.
Perfect.
But so now that I know, so I created a repository for them to be able to commit little documents on there. So we're gonna get going. Don't worry, Eddie. Next time we do part 2, it's gonna be more popping.
I love this. We could do part 2 on Kat's YouTube channel or on Francesco's as well, because Francesco there's a lot of open source, has a very popular project with thousands. How many stars has your Web3 project got, Francesco?
Do I really have to brag? No, I'm joking.
Brag.
I think I'm
asking you.
2200.
Wow.
Wow.
That's so good.
Good.
Really good. Really
Nice
impressive.
start. A nice start. Yes.
It's good. I want to remember to bring up Carl's GitHub as well, because Carl's doing such amazing work, and I want to share it in the chat. So everyone go follow Carl on GitHub as well, and you can find his Twitter and everything else from that too. Description of the project to motivate. Yes, we definitely need a description. Raise an issue, and let's and someone can put the description in. So that's really, really important.
I have my Callus Cat JSON updated.
Perfect.
And so, for example, I see right here someone Hyder having created his JSON.
Perfect.
I don't see the same location where I could view the changes.
Just where your mouse is, just above it, files changed.
Oh, files changed. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So then, okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Hyder. So do I have to go back to the conversation to merge it?
You do, yeah. So you can approve if you wanted to, or you can just hit merge. It's fine.
Okay. Close the comment.
Oh no, don't close it. You want to merge it.
Oh no.
You can reopen the pull request. So a pull request either gets closed or merged. So when you merge
Bye-bye,
it, it's no
Hyder.
longer.
Bye, Hyder.
No, it's okay. You can
Bye-bye.
at the bottom. You can say reopen.
Oh, reopen.
Yeah. So you can now hit merge, and that's kind of it's accepting it and closing it. So you don't need to. There you go. So now it's done. So that will be in the main.
Awesome.
Thank you for the contribution. Loving that. So how's the README looking, Kat? There is my pull request, and then you probably want to remove your name out of it as well.
So let me. Oh.
Bye bye.
So I gotta make sure we're going the right order, right? So do I? So actually,
Yes,
I wanted to talk about this earlier because
Yeah.
we ran into this problem when both Francesco and I both edited on the same line. So if I were to remove my name and my table here before I merge your pull request, does that mean it'll be put back here again?
No. So what? Because they're on different lines, GitHub or Git will probably work it out fine. But if we change the same lines, it'll probably get a conflict, and it will say, "I can't merge these. More than one person has changed the same line. I can't do it myself. What do I need to do?" But you know what? Let's try and do that, and let's see how clever it is. And if we get a conflict, we'll figure it out. So maybe remove your name from that table.
I'm gonna
And
full table. I'm gonna remove the full table.
do it.
And then make changes. And then now I'm gonna go in and merge your pull request.
Yes.
Oh.
And there is a setting you can do which says, "Oh, I saw a conflict." Oh, yes.
Was it with this one?
Might have been. Let's have a look.
Can I ask Eddie, why are we doing this if we are using the JSON?
It
Just
was
for demo purpose?
for which one? Kat was removing the table from the README because we're using JSON.
Okay.
And then this person, I think, has made a change. If you click on Files Changed, I think they
was a
made a change
on the
before.
table.
Yeah, before. So what I would suggest is now. We did have an issue to swap weekly and goal around. So that is correct. But now we've moved to the JSON. The order doesn't matter because we can change it in the application and we can read out whichever order we want. So what I would recommend is just say thank you and say we have now moved to JSON. So this is no longer needed. But thank you so much for the contribution. And you do still get the green squares. So don't worry, you still get the green square for opening the pull request. It will still rain tomorrow in England. It will still be hot here in Portugal. Everything will be fine. Do not worry. So don't be upset if pull requests get closed. That's fine. And you can hit close on that one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So let's look at my pull requests and people can start improving the documentation. So, Francesco's made some improvements. Create a JSON file. So yes, let me accept that from Praduma.
It was Prado, Francesco. But okay.
Oh, sorry, did I say Francesco? Okay.
It's a honor being compared to Padum, of course.
So I've merged. If you refresh that, I've now accepted, not merged. I've accepted Praduma's changes, but we do have a conflict. So this is good. We want to show conflict. So shall I steal? So what you can do here as a maintainer, Kat, you can either resolve the conflict yourself, or you can push back and leave a comment and say, thank you, Eddie, for the pull request, but you've got a conflict. Could you resolve it? I always recommend pushing it back to the person to do it. Otherwise, it's too much pressure on yourself. So you can leave a comment, but I appreciate that I've got it on my screen, so I'm going to resolve it. So are you happy for me to steal the screen share back?
Well, yes,
Sure.
but before we do that, really quickly, does it not show what the conflict is, or do I have to go back here and check?
It will show when you click on resolve conflicts. So you could click on it and you don't have to actually resolve it. You could click on it to have a look if you wanted.
Okay.
So now it's showing you. So now you've got, so where it says patch 3 and the less than brackets, that's the beginning of the conflict. And that came from the patch 3 branch. And then when you go down to the equals, like there's like 8 of them or 6 of them in a row, that's the separator. And then the bit underneath it up to main, which is nothing, is basically what's come in from the main branch. So basically what it's saying is that we've changed the same lines. I've added extra lines, but this is an easy conflict to resolve because what you can do, well, there's nothing in what changes the table. So I might have made a change to it, or I've changed a white space or something, and it's conflicting with you removing it. So what you could do is you could delete the patch where it says patch 3 all the way up to the table and including the table.
Like directly edit it.
Yep, but not the quick start. You want to keep the quick start part, but delete. Basically,
Eddie, this is your problem. I'm going to reflect it back to you.
Yeah, do it. Absolutely. Okay,
I'm going to see how you're doing this.
Let me steal the screen share back.
So directly leave a comment, or do you also get a notification that there was a conflict with your?
That's a good question. I don't think I do get a notification. So as someone reviewing it, like here we go. Produmer has said need to resolve merge conflicts. So that I would have got that notification from the comment, but I don't think I would have got the conflict notification.
So then how do you know where the conflict is?
I wouldn't know it happened until I looked at it or someone said. But then I can click resolve and I can have a look. So what's come in from main is it been a delete. Because you deleted the table, it's come in like this. So if you had added lines, it would have shown it in here. So it would have been cat added whatever you added. And then I could have seen, well, I've done this. You've done this. Do I want mine? Do I want yours? Do I want both? Do I want to manually mix it? So what I want to do is I just need to basically, to resolve a conflict, people get scared. What you basically need to do is decide what the final version is of the two combinations. So in this case, I'm not going to pick cats because it's nothing. It's nothing. It had no changes. It was this, which would then delete all of mine. But then I'm not going to just accept mine because I've got this table which no longer exists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually resolve the conflict. And it's really not hard. Basically, you just need the final result. So I'm going to remove this from main. And then I'm going to remove the table and the patch. And that's what we want it to look like. And that is now the conflict resolved. It's nothing clever or smart. It's just basically Git didn't know what to do because there were multiple changes on similar lines. So now I can hit mark as resolved, commit merge. And it will do a commit saying resolve conflict. So here you go. Scroll down. Nice message. It says, let me refresh it. I think it should have come in as another one. Here we go. So here, this is my, when I accepted Produmer's suggestions, there's 2 of us collaborating on it. And here I've merged main into patch 3 and I resolved the conflicts. And Kat's, you're fast. Wow. You were spending too much time with Carl. Has already merged the pull request in. So if we go to the beginning of the repo, you can see it now. So anyone who wants to get started has some examples to get started, and it would be nice to have a link on this as someone suggested. There's still improvements to come. So actually, Kat, I want to switch back to your screen for a moment. People didn't raise an issue on the packages and releases, I don't think. So we're just going to do that already. I don't think someone suggested that. So let's just make those changes because I think they're quite important. So let me add yours, Kat, back. So, we've got some more PRs. Look at you. Look at that. You're going fast now. You're like, yeah, let's do this. I love it.
Commit, merge.
Merge, accept. Sorry, Francesco, go ahead.
No, I mean, I made the changes that I made on purpose. The mistake I made on purpose. I fixed them now.
Okay, perfect. And Praduma is confirming you don't get notifications for conflicts. So thank you so much. I wasn't 100% sure on that. Yeah, thank you so much. Leave a like to support the channel. Thank you, Francesco, and subscribe if you haven't already. So
Notifications on.
your notifications on as well. Next thing to do, I think, if we go back to the beginning of the repo. So if you click on, oh, sorry, go on. Was someone speaking?
We can also have a look at the app real quick.
Oh, let's do that.
What-
That's much more interesting. No, Carl, let's do that. Okay, let's switch to Carl's screen.
What I thrown together.
Let's do it.
Let's see this.
What Carl has, I'm gonna do air quotes, thrown together is like my what I would call amazing. So this is always good. Super excited to see this. Okay, so Carl's screen is up. You're going to have to make it bigger. Carl is using Gitpod. This is what I talked about. So you'll be able to, once you've got an app running, which Carl has, you'll be able to make changes without setting up Node, the right version of Node, installing dependencies. Gitpod will just create the whole environment for you in like 30 seconds, and you can edit and commit all from the browser. And Carl will show us all that now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, what I did, as I said, is I created a Next app. Yeah, we're having this data folder here. Obviously, I think that's the thing you were working on for the past hours. Yep. Yeah, what I actually did was I just edited the index page for now. Created a custom profile component, and yeah, I import these files at build time because it's entirely static. These JSON files don't come from a real database, so we don't have anything dynamic on this page. That's why I can use the get static props. And yeah, I'm just importing it from here and process it, and then return it to the component, which maps it to the profile component I created here. And all in all, after it looks like this.
Awesome.
Like it's just, yeah, a visual interface for the JSON data. Links are working. The URL thingy you can put into the JSON. It's displaying the location. Yeah,
that's awesome.
This is cool.
What we technically could do is add a link to them when clicking this card, for example, that it takes to a detail page. So we are not displaying the entire profile like in this list. Yeah, and this could everything be done with static site generation, I guess. And maybe when moving this forward, it could also be migrated maybe to Markdown files, so people can actually customize like their own profile page, and we run the Markdown with MDX, for example. Yeah, that's.
I love that.
Essentially,
I love it so much.
I told you he's done so much. He's like, oh, just a quick little thing I've knocked together, and it's like,
I'm stealing you. I'm stealing you. Come over. Come to the dark side.
So this is awesome. So straight away, you've got that. We can put a banner at the top to say FitDevs. There's all sorts of things we can do. But the great thing is now, as people add their JSON files, it automatically loads. So can we? We could deploy that to GitHub pages. Oh no, it's next, right? So we need actually a proper server for that. So that's a separate discussion.
We could. We could. It can be. It's, as I said, it's entirely static. We can host it. That's why I proposed using static site generation.
Perfect. Yes, we could do that on GitHub Action and then host it on GitHub pages. And then as people add a new JSON file, it automatically appears on the page. And then we could add a search. You know, we could filter by the tags. You know, we could maybe create certain tags, like if it's Peloton tag, or I want to see who's using the Peloton, or who's cycling, who's running, who's walking, and then you can filter by people and just reach out and say, hey, let's do a virtual walk together. Like there's so many things that you could like do, which I absolutely love. Super awesome. Love that.
I need to create an issue for this though. I just forked it and create a branch for this feature, but there's no issue for this yet. Okay,
awesome. That is just so great. So Kat, I hope you're going to learn Next.js, Tailwind CSS, GitHub Actions, GitHub Pages,
It's coming up.
You will, because the community are going to help you. And then Francesco will Dockerize it, add it to your Kubernetes cluster, and then you've got so many awesome things going on.
There's a reason I'm learning hours a day, because I want to make sure I get there.
And we're all learning like so fast. Like, I'm building Eddie Hub stuff as code, which is just for me is like, but again, the community are helping me do this, so it's super awesome. So yeah, absolutely love this. Why not Vercel? Try to keep it simple for now. I think get our pages. There's no need for Vercel. Keep it really simple for now.
Yeah,
All in one place.
I think we don't need Vercel currently. Like we could, but I think it's not needed yet. Yeah,
exactly. This is great. Do we get to keep this demo project? Great question, Kyle. Sorry. Yes, it will. It will. Sure. It will. I'm sure Kyle won't mind pushing it to the repo, and then we can have it. Right. It's a start. I think it's an amazing start.
It's a lovely start.
I'm just thinking also, I wonder later on, you can add a map to the side and then just put everybody on the map. Like you can make it interactive. So when you search for people at the top, then it filters on the map who you're seeing, and you can just see who's near you. Someone might be in the same country as you. I was speaking to someone today, actually, funny enough. I follow someone from GitHub on Instagram. And I said, "Oh, it's great. You're working at the beach with your laptop. I'm doing the same from Portugal." Like, I'm in Portugal next week. I'm like, let's geek out. And it's just like super. And they're into like FitDevs, and they're not yet into FitDevs, but they're into like dev, fit, and photography. So I'm like, let's go for a hike around Porto with our laptops and cameras, and therefore we're doing exercise, taking pictures, and geeking out. So, it's a great way to bring us all even more closer together, which I think is awesome. So, this is great. How is your React, Francesco and Kat?
I'm not there yet, but it's coming up in my web dev bootcamp. Don't worry, it's awesome. Coming up. I'm working hard to get there.
Awesome. Sounds good. Cool.
That's been useful. But
great. It's been great. We've been going for like an hour and 45 minutes already. I think we just made some closing notes and anything else anyone wants to cover. But I think we've achieved a lot. Still loads more to do. Hopefully people have got some green squares. If you need any more, let us know. So where should we go? So Francesco, what's your thoughts and feedback so far on the FitDevs organization?
It looks super cool. I like that it has a goal, like it's a community with a goal, which is great. And I think they need more people. Of course, they're just getting started, and maybe also working inside, for example, creating communication inside the community. And yes, and maybe define clearly define why people should join. So yes. Why should I try to think like out of your shoes? Because when it's your project, I know this because I have this community. You say why people should not, but try to think like out of the box. Say, okay, so I am an external person. Why should I click on join this Discord server? So you should give them reasons to do that. So this is when I switched this mindset, we started to go very well on the community I just found. So
exactly, and the community that Francesco is talking about is the 4C community. And you can see they're an Eddie Hub partner. So we've got the Eddie Hub website. They're an Eddie Hub community partner. And we've got Kunal's community as well. I am thinking, Kat, do we have space for one more? Maybe FitDevs should fit on the community partners as well. So awesome. So let me also share the 4Cs community as well if people want to have a look at that too as well.
Amazing.
I will share that in the chat. Okay, cool. So Francesco, thank you so much for that. I agree. I hope people are raising issues for those too. Okay, so Kat, what else? So what any closing notes, any suggestions for other people? Let me bring up your organization again.
Any closing notes from me?
Next steps, closing notes, ideas.
I think I'll just give a quick, easy closing note in terms of it's interesting Francesco brought it. I should think about why people should join. I haven't thought of an elevator pitch for that yet. Because I would like people to decide why they're joining, because people join for different reasons. Currently, we have people in there for different reasons. Some people want to build, some people want to work out, some people want to inspire. We all have different reasons for joining, and that's what makes us pretty cool, I think, and really diverse. But I do want to say, I think the important thing is the purpose of why we exist, and that's my little Emmy motto. I haven't talked about it yet with like publicly on a Twitter space or something, but I've been discussing it with our community. And I've been chanting Emmy all day. I'm going to have that on a t-shirt. When we reach 1,000 people, I'm going to print t-shirts that say Emmy. Emmy Fitness, Emmy, E for Exploration, M for Maintain, and I for Inspire. I want everyone to explore those or really think about these 3 actionable items in terms of fitness, whether you haven't worked out before. That's okay if you've never been to a gym. You don't have to go to a gym. But how can we as developers really explore what fitness means to us and your individual health? Like, what are you capable of and what does it mean to you? And then if you were to join a community, how can we help you maintain that fitness? And then to go out there in the world, your friends, your family, your Twitter communities, and actually inspire fitness as well. And that's kind of what we're here for. That's our purpose. And I'm really excited. We started really small, but it's brought me to these amazing people. I'm very happy to be here with you guys, and I'm really excited to see where we go. So thank you so much, Eddie, Francesco, Cal. I so much during my streams, but
It's
I never.
Julian.
It's easy.
Like it's a nickname. Like I'm actually Julian.
You're actually Julian. I'll call you Julian from now on. Then it's just I'm used to seeing different names on my Twitch streams. I've never actually met everyone. It is just so exciting to be connected with these people in person. And so if anyone's interested in joining our fitness community, hop on in. We're pretty inclusive. We're very welcoming. And we're here to perpetuate every fitness. So.
That sounds good. And on that note, I want to give some shout outs. So I saw, Marina said their first pull request. Love that. I can't see, I don't know which one is yours. I want to give a shout out to Cookies in Tech. Love cookies. I love tech. I eat gluten-free cookies, unfortunately, because I'm allergic. But pull request there for you. It looks good at first glance. I'm sure people will review it. But this looks awesome. It looks great. So yeah, looking good. Looking to get that merged and see that. Also, I saw Jocelyn as well. Yeah, looks good to get first glance. I love that. Great work. And also Janet as well. Loving this. Okay, Warwick, UK. Yes, we've got a Manchester Geek Out session on the 1st of October if you want to join. We've got loads of people from Tech Twitter meeting up. Emma Wayne from Eddie Hub is organizing it with Graham, and we're all meeting up. Francesco came last time for 4 hours from Italy and went back again. So, yes.
Just for you, Eddie, and you was not there.
I couldn't go. So, sorry, family emergency that day. But
joking, of course.
love these. We've got Marino joining. Oh, no, shit, don't say that. That's a surprise. Shh.
Wait,
no one, everyone ignore that. Sorry.
What?
That was a surprise. Sorry, Emma, if you're watching this, I've ruined your surprise. I'm so sorry. Francesco, don't give me that face. Okay, so Carl has submitted this, which is great. So this is the changes that Carl made. Let me make it full screen.
So that says still work in progress. Does that mean I can't merge it until he's completely done?
That's a great question. I was going to ask the same. So it's in draft. So I was going to ask Carl, what are your thoughts that else needs doing?
So the intention behind submitting it as draft was, I actually wasn't sure if we want to set up this deployment thingy within this pull request, or if we just want to have the code base first and
my suggestion,
bring the deployment stuff afterwards in a follow-up pull request.
My suggestion
I think it's
would
just
be,
preference.
Yeah, my suggestion is to merge it in, and then improvements come later. Because once it's merged, people can improve the favicon. I saw Vercel in there. Someone else can work on the deployment. I think this is already adding value. So I think this is great. One thing I would suggest, I don't know if you've still got it running, Carl, if you could take a screenshot and add it to the PR description so people can see it. I think that'd be great. And then someone else can
I also still need the issue to link, and it's
okay.
A draft. I need to adjust the description and all this stuff.
Okay, perfect. I mean, don't worry about writing a massive description. I think just the screenshot says it all. And then other people, once it's merged, other people can start making improvements to it as well. I love it that so many people are getting into open source. I love you all. Open source is for everyone. So yes.
We love you too.
That's
The
awesome.
project is actually having more forks than stars.
Yes, everyone, don't forget to star the project. It won't cost you anything, but it will really help motivate the maintainers. I think it's awesome. So we're getting lots of positive feedback. Oh, cookies is Marina. Okay, cool. Love this. Okay, yes, that's yours. Oh, wait a second. Yes, that's your one. Awesome. I'm going to go look for this pull request and follow you all on GitHub and see what you're up to too as well. Learning open source. Well, you're in the right place. my YouTube channel and community is all about open source, and I love it how it bridges with Francesco's, because Francesco's is open source and content creation and Web3, and it bridges with Kat, which is tech, open source, and fitness. So great collab there. I see some more collabs in the future as well. So Carl, any closing notes you'd like to add as well?
Well, I have to admit, I haven't been that deep into this entire community. I just came across the Twitch live streams accidentally by seeing Twitter announcement posts. Yeah, I always enjoy doing open source coding stuff. So let's help building something there.
You do, and you're super supportive. So thank you for supporting us and doing. You did it 100 times faster than I could have done. We would be here for another 4 hours. So that's great. Yes, and here's a suggestion from Praduma. I meant to mention it to Kat before the live stream. I completely forgot. Kat, you do say guys quite a lot. Yes, for example, in Eddie Hub, we try not to use guys so much, trying to use inclusive words like folks and so forth. Once we did that in the Eddie Hub community, we found that it grew a lot faster as well. So a great suggestion by Praduma as well. So
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. I was just talking to some of our moderators about how I actually want to bring on more girls. And okay, I'll stop saying guys or girls, just folks in general. So that's
perfect.
Thank you. That's actually teaching me a lot. I've never consciously thought about that before, but I think that's actually going to really change the way I address people. Thank you, both of you, for everyone.
We're all learning and we're all doing it all the time, and we all kind of made those sorts of mistakes at the beginning, but the Eddie bot would kind of prompt us on Discord and say stop saying hey guys, try to use folks, and after a while we get used to it. So we still all slip up sometimes, too many movies and all the rest, so it happens. But yeah, big shout out to you all. We also got lots of people saying thanks in the chat as well. I really enjoyed it. Everyone, get some rest. I don't want to take a long live stream, like 12-hour Francesco live stream, because it's Sunday. I want you all to get rest for the week. Don't forget.
Rest, though. I do not just get rest. It's FitDevs.
Yes, get rest, but also get fit, eat healthy, spend time with your friends and family, and contribute to open source. So links below. So you've got Francesco's links below. You've got Kat's links below. You've got FitDevs links below. You haven't got Carl, so I'm going to drop it in the chat because I haven't updated. And chat again. I had that browser tab open. Follow Carl on GitHub as well and see the awesome things that Carl is doing. Perfect. Yes, so it's great to bring open source tech and health together. Okay, I'm going to bring up the holding page. If any of you want to stay online and give me any feedback or chat afterwards for a few minutes, stay on. If you need to go, then feel free to drop off. No pressure. So everyone, thank you so much for joining the live stream, and we'll geek out again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Wait, I forgot to take a screenshot. Wait, of us being live. We're back live
Rookie
again.
mistake. Mistake. Let's go, Eddie.
Let's go. Ready? 3, 2.
What are we doing?
Screenshot. Pull a YouTube face. I need a screenshot to share on Twitter.
Okay.
You ready? Everyone ready? I want your best YouTube face, and everyone who hung on the live stream is seeing bloopers now at the end. So thanks all for being here. Okay, I got it. I hope everyone's happy with that. That's awesome. Thanks everyone. Okay, I'm going to end the stream right now. No countdown. It's ending right now. You saw the bloopers. Everyone, you rock. I see you.